What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Netwrk podcast. This is your boy Sadiq and
Angela.
chillin'. What's good, Ange?
Not much. I'm a little raspy today.
Yeah.
I was singing yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep.
What you do last night?
I went to Yellow Cup. It was my first one.
Was it?
I haven't gone to one.
I have not been to one yet. And Wale's family. And
No.
his family. I have not been to one yet, but I've heard a lot of great things about Yellow Cup weekend.
It was fun.
And the one that you went to was his R&B event, right?
Yeah, it was R&B.
Was it fire?
Yeah, it was. That's why I'm raspy.
You singing?
Because I can't sing, but I will sing.
Mad loud.
Of course. You put a little Tevin Campbell on.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige. Yeah, no, we were. Yeah.
Everybody just grooving.
Yeah.
Vibing.
Yeah, I like those.
Cool.
I like those events.
That's cool. Other than that, everything else was good.
Yeah. You know.
No, I feel you.
Those events are dope because, going back early 20s, right? Used to go out and we all used to have to get dressed. Remember?
Yeah.
Button downs, dress codes, girls in our platform shoes and our business attire. We were up in the club in pencil skirts and peplum tops and statement necklaces. Yeah. But the heels were crazy.
The thick platforms, right? Yeah. Nah, I'm not a thick platform heel type of dude. I like the skinny, long, tall.
Well,
heels.
now but what was in style back then, it was a little different, a little peep toe action. But yesterday, everybody in kicks. It was nice to just be out in Air Maxes.
I feel like our generation, we're still live. We still be vibing.
We are, but we got knee problems and back problems. so we got to wear sneakers.
Dude, oh my gosh, dude. Trust me, I get the older you get, that's why it's very important that staying in shape is very key to this whole thing. You know what I mean? Because if not, we'll all be walking around with canes and shit, man.
No, my ankle's still bothering me a little bit. I was supposed to work out today and I had to pass because I don't know. I'm gonna get a second opinion.
I've been working out. For some reason, I do a lot of squats. My knees are starting to get to me.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I'm going way too low or whatever the case may be, but definitely my knees always hurt no matter what, especially during the spring because I typically jog from spring to fall.
You do an outdoor?
I do an outdoor jog.
Oh, yeah, that's not good for your knees.
It's not good. And I jog.
And what kind of shoes are you wearing?
I wear running sneakers.
Yeah, but which ones?
I forgot a name brand, but there's this sneaker spot right on the east side on North Main Street. They literally focus on workout sneakers and jogging sneakers. Yeah. And they base their sneakers on your foot, right? And I'm flat-footed, so I need to wear a particular type of sneakers, so I bought two pairs from that. I bought one specifically for working out, another one for outdoor jogging. But even though still I definitely need to get my right knee checked because when I do outdoor jogging, after the first month I'll be good, but once I'm going into the second month and moving forward, that pain is torture.
No, but that running on concrete and pavement is rough on your knees.
Yeah, no, I definitely heard.
Damage.
That. Yeah.
I ran track for a long time and I messed up my knees because I used to long jump and triple jump. And so now I still be hearing my knees click.
Damn.
If I do an extension, I definitely hear them click. It's not good, but it could be worse.
Yeah.
I'm still able.
Listen, for a brother like me with bad knees, I still could dance. There's no I get it on the dance floor, man. Sure, you got y'all ladies better ask about me, man.
Me too. Every once in a while, I gotta show myself. I gotta get low, and then I get back up smooth, and I'm like, yeah, I still got it.
On another note, what's going on, man? How's the housing market? Any updates on that?
Inventory obviously low.
Yeah.
Very low. As of today, what do we say for single families? There's
about 646 homes currently left on the market for single family.
Yeah,
homes.
and then an under 500. What did we say? 297. Was it?
Not 100% sure. I know the median price on is about 430,000. For multifamily homes.
Yeah. So for single families.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything under 500,000, it was just under 300 houses. Wow. And then the median house price is 430. So probably if we pulled those numbers for anything like 430 and under, you're probably in like the 250 range. So
Yeah.
right now, if anyone that's in the housing market and they're looking to buy
Hmm.
and they're in that price point,
Yeah.
they have some steep competition because there's only 200 and probably 50 houses
Yeah.
for
Nah.
them to choose from.
Nah. The housing market is definitely shift. It's definitely took a major shift and whatnot. Even for multifamily homes too. Multifamily homes inventory is really low.
Yeah, what are we like
Right. We're
144?
look. Yeah, 144 for multifamily homes, and anything under 500,000 is only 47.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that whole notion of where we are currently in the housing market should and that indicates that we definitely have, for me, I think we have a housing problem, you
Oh,
know
1,000%.
with the major housing shortage, that's going on, and people not being able to afford, right? So there's so much going on. So
Mm-hmm.
try and figure out how people could try and navigate this whole situation in terms of making sure that they're preparing themselves for quarter two,
Like the
right?
spring
That's
market.
the spring
Yeah.
market. Spring market till like early fall is when you have an influx of buyers out in the market buying homes.
Yeah.
Now, with a shortage of homes in the market, how do we as realtors, loan officers, plan to help consumers or buyers, should I say, navigate an industry where there's not enough homes on the market?
Honestly, at this point, everybody should just get a therapist. Like your mortgage, like if you're shopping for a mortgage, you should get at least a monthly therapy session because you have to fall in love with every house.
Yeah.
I know, like we always say don't,
Mm.
but you have to, right?
Yeah.
You're going through a house. You could potentially live there. You got to picture your family there. You got to picture having a kid's birthday party there, celebrating holidays
Yeah.
there. So you genuinely have to fall in love. But then you have stiff competition.
Yeah.
So I know that I'm in it with several of my buyers where we've put in pretty decent
Yeah.
offers and we get the no.
Yeah.
So it's sad. That's what I'm saying. Like
It's
we
definitely.
we can offer a little therapy for them.
Listen, I think. Listen, being a well-ready therapist at the end of the day, when
This
it
is
comes
true.
when it comes to our job, because most of these consumers, they go through crazy emotional coasters during the process of buying a home, and and mind you, like, let's just think about what it was like during the pandemic, right?
Hmm.
Where people's emotions were at an all-time high.
Oh yeah.
Everybody being all flustered, frustrated.
Not being able to see people. Yeah.
It's not even just that, just getting their offers, putting in
Oh yeah.
offers getting denied, putting more, like, it was just crazy. So now we're going into a market which is a high demand, our peak market, right?
Hmm.
Where the housing market's hot. Now we're gonna be dealing with the same shit where people are gonna be putting in offers, their offers getting denied. Now their emotions is gonna start getting the best of them.
Yeah.
And a lot of people tend to quit during that time. And for me, I feel like one of the things I always try to stress to my clients, don't fucking quit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because at the end of the day, everything becomes, I feel like everything's a numbers game. The more shots you put out there, the more grind, the more
Yeah.
hustle. You just out there hitting the pavement, looking at properties with your agent, and you put in the right offer. Eventually, that offer is gonna stick.
Yeah.
But I feel like buyers needs to have a lot of patience moving into the spring
And
market.
just develop thicker skin.
And oh my,
Because you know what?
facts,
What
facts.
separates a normal consumer from, and I'm not just going to even specifically say an investor,
Yeah,
but just like a more savvy person when it
yeah,
comes to real estate, the thing that separates the normal consumer versus that person, the more savvy person, is their ability to separate the emotional
yeah,
aspect of it.
yes.
Because a lot of times our emotions get in the way,
Speak it.
prevent us from doing something because of we're allowing fear to
Mm,
get in the way and all these things. And yes, buying a house is a big deal, scary, all those things,
mm,
but honestly, we're not pioneering this idea.
yeah,
This is like we're not inventing anything new.
yeah,
Real estate has been exchanged from the beginning of time,
Yeah.
you know, in some way, shape, or form. So in this real estate, I know I made a joke like everybody needs therapy, which I think everybody does, but I think just developing that thick skin. It's like that pictorial you ever see where like the guy is like in like a cave and he's like mining for diamonds. There's
No.
always like this thing like he's just like a little cartoon. He's like mining for diamonds and
Yeah.
there's like a split screen. So there's one guy and he's like going and they show the picture of the diamond in the rock and you can tell he's tired because he's chipping at rock and he's turning around. But it's right when he's right before that diamond. And then the other pictorial is the guy that just kept going.
Kept on going. And that's what it takes. It just takes you to constantly go as buyers and like, you know, not even give up at the end of the day. But should a buyer, let me ask you this, Ange, right? We've both been in the game for quite some time, but from your expertise standpoint, what do you see could potentially occur moving forward in the spring market, one, and how do you think consumers should prepare themselves? This episode is brought to you by Caltif Investments and Consultants. If you're looking for investments for new construction, home, or renovation project, they definitely can provide that service. If you're looking to rent or lease a property, Caltif Investment is the way to go. If you're watching this from our Instagram page, definitely their handle will be within the body of the post. If you're watching this, the full episode on YouTube, definitely send me a message and I'll definitely connect you. It's called the Network for a reason.
I think, honestly, make sure you have your savings together, right? Obviously, you need money to buy a house. I'm not going to sit up there and sell you a pipe dream.
Yeah.
You got to have your finances in order, but definitely you need to get in touch with a real estate agent and a lender.
Yeah.
You got to be pre-approved, and you got to keep that pre-approval active,
Yeah.
right? Like when your credit report expires after, 120 days?
Yeah.
Make sure that you're working with a lender that's on top of it, getting you that most accurate, up-to-date credit report. Don't do anything wild. Don't be out here blowing money and putting things on credit, right? You really just have to be really smart about everything. And then once you are actually in the process of looking for homes, really look for an agent that kind of knows what they're doing. Like look for somebody that can point out potential issues prior to even an inspection, because then you can pre-negotiate those kinds of things. And honestly, another agent on the other side is going to appreciate that a little bit more.
Facts.
Like if you're like, hey, I see that oil tank is about to go. Letting you know that this offer, is based on that. I honestly think you should probably have your seller take care of it, because if from now until when it actually sells, the oil tank goes, they're gonna have a bigger issue. Right. And I've done that.
Do you think that's something that you should bring, that you as an agent, would you bring something like that up before you put the offer in, or put the offer in, let the inspection move forward, then?
It depends on the agent on the other side. Like I've done it both ways where, I've waited for inspection, but I've kind of given them the heads up, like, I'm trying to help you out. There's like literal drip. If that goes, it's a problem for you and your seller. DEM gets involved. You're not closing in 30 days like you want. This is going to be a 90-day thing, and a cleanup and a cost to your seller. So you might as well, what is it to put in an oil tank?
Probably like a couple grand.
Which is minimal in the grand scheme of things. That or what, a $15,000 to $25,000 cleanup?
It adds up.
Yeah.
Definitely adds up. I think another thing that buyers should try to put, you mentioned something in regards to make sure that they have their finances in line, but most importantly, don't spend crazy. If you are a buyer and you are in the middle of, you already got the pre-approval done and you're getting ready to hit that pavement with your realtor to look for a property, don't do dumb shit. This is very important.
Don't do dumb shit from Sadiq.
Yo, don't do dumb shit. Plain and simple. All jokes aside, a lot of buyers, and I'm not sure if it's because a lot of the realtors don't let their buyers know, don't take out a loan, don't spend on your credit card, because all this affects your DTI. So it's very, very, and a lot of time, a lot of lenders, they go back when you put an offer in, they go back and try to revisit your credit and revisit a lot of your finances just to make sure that your DTI is not out of whack.
Yeah.
So it's very, very important. Don't do dumb shit. Do not buy a car. Don't buy a car. Don't
No.
take out a loan. Try not to spend on your credit card if you can.
Oh no. So actually,
It's crazy.
let me tell you this. So
Yeah.
I'm annoyed with myself
Talk to me.
because I bought a new car in December. It was time.
Congratulations.
Thank you, but it was time. And obviously because they pulled credit, you see a dip real quick,
of course.
and then it went back. It went up because I made my first payment, or whatever, and I was like, "Ooh, credit score going up," being excited. But I had paid off all of my credit cards too right before that.
Nice.
So all my credit cards were to zero.
Yeah.
But I haven't been using them.
Yeah.
So my credit score went down 40 points from a FICO perspective. I don't know from a mortgage perspective.
You didn't close it out though.
No, I didn't close it out. I know that.
Yeah.
That would be something stupid.
Definitely.
But I haven't been using them.
Gotcha.
So that's something actually that I think the consumer should, like a buyer should remember too. There still has to be that utilization of your credit. I'm not saying max it out. I'm not saying go crazy, but like get your gas.
Yeah.
Pay it off.
Yes.
Maybe your groceries, pay it off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I messed up by not using my credit because I was just so happy to see, like, to have zero debt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To not have any.
Yeah.
Like that was a nice feeling.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the way credit works, which is actually a mystery. Like
It's still a mystery to this day.
I think it's a mystery to even people that do it for a living to a certain extent. Like when I was in mortgages, I used to do credit simulators. So that we can see, like, where if you were looking to buy a house and we were looking for a pre-approval, okay, your Home Depot card, rather than pay it off, maybe you only have to pay down to $2,000, and your car payment, maybe refinance, whatever. So the credit simulator does just that. It simulates credit. So then we can see where we can get your credit score to lift the fastest.
Yeah.
But I swear it was all like guessing.
It
was all like me just being like, oh, looking at the credit and being like, oh, if they paid that off, if they got this down to, if they paid this 50% down or whatever, I swear it was just like all guessing. And then it would spit out the answer and I'd be like, do this.
Yeah. I usually tell all my clients, try not to spend more than 30% on your credit card.
Right.
Right. If you could just follow that rules, if you spend 30%, pay that 30% off as fast as possible and just keep going back and forth. Once they start going above that, now they could affect their situation because now they borrowing more debt. You know what I mean? And then the interest rate's a lot higher.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not a credit repair person by any means necessary, but being in this industry, being a finance manager in the auto industry, I kind of have some form of inclination in regards to
and
it.
Honestly, everybody should.
And everybody
stuff that should be taught.
Yeah,
in schools.
not facts. Financial
taught.
literacy is definitely a major important thing, and I don't think it's taught in school for some, and to hold people back. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, that time's over. So let's get with the program. What's going on with corporations buying up homes in today's day and age?
Yeah. So we get a little bit of it in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
But I feel like it happens more like in larger states because
it definitely does.
Yeah, because I mean, there's more houses to buy.
Yeah.
There's more land.
Yeah.
I don't love it.
Yeah.
I don't love it.
From your perspective, why is that?
Because when you do talk about, I mean, we're in a national housing crisis, and a lot of them are buying up, especially single family houses, buying them up and sitting on them.
Yeah.
Because they can't afford to.
Yeah.
So now you want to talk about housing crisis. You're buying up hundreds of houses and just like you have neighborhoods that are just chilling.
Yeah.
Doing nothing.
Yeah.
Collecting dust. I don't know. There should be some kind of limitation. I'm all for people making their money, but like I said, you know me, not at the expense of like of keeping people down. Like,
and like the articles I was reading was stating that with these corporations that are buying up these homes, it's creating a housing shortage. It's increasing home prices, right? There's affordability issues, due to people renting, because now these corporations are jacking up rent, so people can't afford. So some of the things that they're trying to do right now, like the federal agencies are trying to crack down on corporate landlords, and they're watching like for antitrust law violations that's aiming that's aiming towards these landlords causing price inflation
Yeah.
and things of that
And
nature.
price fixing.
And
Yeah.
price
Yep. It was
exactly, it's
price
price
fixing.
fixing as
Yeah.
well. So it's crazy because 1/4 of houses in the U.S. are owned by corporations.
Yeah.
So where does that put average people that's looking to buy and get into a real estate game? Where does that leave them competitive wise?
In some cases, it knocks you out of the race.
It does.
It knocks you out of the race. It's just kind of, it's like I hear this from potential clients
Hmm.
that, like, maybe they can only afford so much. They have a lower budget, which
Yeah.
is fine. But they'll say to me, "Oh, I'm waiting for the market to crash."
Hmm.
And I always say, "Oh, what's going to happen when it crashes?" Like,
Yeah.
I ask them,
Hmm.
"Oh, well, there's going to be a lot of foreclosures and more inventory."
Hmm.
And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Have you ever been into like a foreclosed property?" No. Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Do you know that a lot of times they end up distressed? Because even if they're not a distressed property, I've seen it where people are upset.
Yeah.
They'll take a whole kitchen. They'll snatch up that granite.
Yeah.
Right? They know they're going into foreclosure. So I'm like, okay, you normal consumer
Hmm.
on the lower end, you want to buy a foreclosure?
Hmm.
You might be able to, right? Through HUD.
Yeah.
But who's your competition now?
Yeah.
Cash buyers,
Yeah.
people that have the
Investors.
means,
Yeah.
and investors that have the means. So you will get knocked out.
Yeah. And that's definitely true. And I think here in Rhode Island, I think a lot of Rhode Islanders have been priced out. Even within the article that I was reading, there's certain regulations that certain states and countries have put into place. California has their own rules and regulations that they trying to put in place to
Mm-hmm.
minimize corporations buying homes. Georgia's one of them, and surprisingly, there's Singapore.
Yeah.
Is another one too. But with Singapore, they trying to limit outside investors coming in and buying. And I think that's pretty dope because if you think about it, here in Rhode Island was such a small state, right? Who do we have that's buying up majority of these properties, right? People where income's a lot higher and they're used to high prices, right?
Yeah.
So people that live in New York are investing heavy in Rhode Island. People that live in
Boston.
Connecticut, Boston, are investing heavy here in Rhode Island. So what's that doing? That's actually pushing a lot of these potential future homeowners that live in Rhode Island that's looking to be a part of um um generational wealth building,
Yeah.
or that's looking to create that lifestyle for themselves, that
Yeah.
American dream lifestyle for themselves, and they
Yeah.
can't because now they're getting pushed out the market. Should the state of Rhode Island actually put a stop on individuals on individuals on the outskirts investing in Rhode Island?
Oh, I think that's tough because at the same time, they're equally getting pushed out too. This is not just
Mm,
a person that can. This is not just a person that's just like, oh, I got a lot of money in
yeah.
Boston, but my dollar goes further in Rhode Island, so I'm just gonna go because I
Mm,
can. Some of these people are priced out there, right? Like they want to buy a house
that's
in
true. That's
Boston. They're the
yeah.
normal consumer. They're the normal person
Yep.
that's working, right?
Yep.
And they're like, oh, I have maybe
Hmm.
$600,000 to spend. $600,000 in Boston gets them nothing.
Yeah.
So if they can move into Pawtucket, Northern Rhode Island, somewhere close to the train,
Hmm.
commute. So it's kind of hard, right?
Yeah.
Like who are you ostracizing if you just put this blanket rule in
Mm,
place? Like, oh, you can't come into our state. But who are you pushing out? Like
that's
the
true.
the part of America, right? The quote unquote
Yeah.
American dream is our free and our ability to our freedom and being able to move and do things and have those resources to
Yeah.
be able to do it. We talk about this. We say, okay, have you thought about if you're a worker and you work from home?
Yeah.
Have you thought about possibly selling your home here in Rhode Island
Yeah.
and moving down south?
Yeah.
So would you want that same treatment, right?
Mm,
Like if you decided, you know what, a $500,000 house looks fantastic
mhm.
in Texas.
Yeah.
$500,000 house here is not going to get me anything.
Facts.
I want to move to Texas.
Yeah.
Should Texas be able to block you?
Great question. Great question. That's definitely a great question. And I think, I don't, me personally, I think if allow investors to come in, right? Um, because it goes back, it exactly goes back to what you're saying. Why create something when you want to try to avoid that to happen in another state?
Right.
Because now you really, if that was happening in another state, now where does that leave everybody, right? Or what if that happened in every single state? You know what I mean? Where the state doesn't want outside investors.
Imagine. We might as well
That would be
all
crazy.
we'll all just be building stupid walls around our little state borders. You can't come in, you stupid person from Massachusetts. Like imagine the little
Yeah,
little civil
that would suck.
wars.
Yeah,
The little civil wars we'll create from state to state.
yeah.
Like no, like what's next? We're gonna have to start wearing your Rhode Island patch and your Connecticut patch and your Arkansas patch.
Nah,
Like
that's definitely
there's gonna be a
wild.
list. We're gonna have to report people. I saw a Vermont plate in Rhode Island. Get them. Like, what are you gonna do?
Nah, facts. That's wild. Check this out, right? In the article that was done by Pew Trust, I believe
Mm-hmm.
it is. And the article says, but it's not just these huge investment firms buying up properties for investments. According to Business Insider, when looking at closing between private equity and independent operations, individuals who house flip, right? These investors account for 44% of the purchasing during the third quarter. This is back in 2023 or 22. They also state that the rate for entry for buyers, right, first-time homeowners,
Mm-hmm.
has continued to decline throughout the year, falling from 43% of the purchase of flipped homes, individuals that bought flipped homes, of first quarter of 2022 to just 32% in that third quarter.
Oh,
You know, then because of these, independent operations are selling their flipped homes more often to institutional investors because mortgage rates are too high for entry buyers, first-time homeowners, to afford the monthly payment at the prices being asked. Entry buyers are getting priced out.
yeah,
That for individuals that flip homes that can't sell to a first-time home buyers, where can they sell that property? The only option that they have is to be able to sell to these private firms
yeah.
that have the cash capital, and it's
But
not first time.
you know what that feels like.
Yeah,
You know what it feels like to have all your money tied up
yeah.
and to have those holding costs add up.
That is true.
You know.
That's true from an investment standpoint. Yes, that's 100% true.
So I
Because
can't say that if
yeah,
I wasn't,
that's a great
back
point.
against the wall,
Yeah,
would I want to?
yeah,
If I were to go into flipping a house today,
yeah.
right?
That's a
I
great
have my
point.
numbers. I crunched my numbers. I know my holding costs. I know what I'm going to invest in the
Yeah.
property. I know what I'm going to sell it for. But then I can't sell it.
Mm. Not
I,
just that, not that you just can't sell it, but now you have buyers, right? They go
yeah.
through these process, right, of getting pre-approved. Now they have hiccups. You know what I mean? Now extensions are created.
Oh, yeah.
Now that puts the investor
Oh, yeah.
in a sticky situation because it goes back to what you're saying. They have to pay holding costs. They have to pay this and that. So it's easier for an individual's flipping to dump the house or get rid of the
Yeah. Yeah.
house with somebody who actually could buy it in a
Yeah.
much
Because
faster way.
you're not going in like, I'm going to sell this to a corporation and
Yeah,
make everyone upset.
yeah,
But if that's your only option,
yeah.
you got to do what you got to do.
That's true.
You got
That's
to do
true.
what you got to do. Because let me
That's
tell you,
true. Them holding costs are
holding
no,
costs
those things
every
are no
month,
joke.
every
Oh,
month, but no
no
interest
joke.
payments,
Yeah,
like,
no joke.
oh,
Oh, that does
make
suck.
me sick.
That sucks. That sucks. Listen, did you watch the State of the Union?
I did.
Did you?
I did. Well, can I just say,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I stay up on politics because
Yeah.
I don't like to be ignorant.
Yeah.
Like I like to have an idea of what's going on.
Hmm.
Um, but I do hate politics.
Yeah.
I do think there should be term limits. Like it, I just can't. But whenever
Term limits or age limits?
term limits, age limits,
Gotcha.
like go retire somewhere.
Hmm.
First, like you're born in 1940 something. You gonna tell me you don't got implicit bias? You were walking around when segregation was cool.
Mm.
And you gonna tell me that you want to do the best for somebody that looks like me? I don't believe you. But anyway, it's so hard for me to watch politicians, especially in election years,
Yeah. Which
because
we're in right
here
now.
we are,
Yeah.
right, 80-year-olds, but they sound like they're running for like high school presidency. Like some of the stuff, like the way that they just sound, it's like, I'm getting rid of homework, guys. Vending machines are gonna be free for everyone. School's gonna end at 12 now. And students, we're gonna get to do whatever we want. Like, honestly, election years piss me off because that's what it just be sounding like. It's just like a bunch of empty promises.
Yeah,
and then
Mitch.
and then at the State of the Union addresses, right? Like, it's like every bit. It's almost like watching a comedy show too, because it's like after every sentence, then it's like, oh yeah, rah.
Everybody's
It's
up
like,
clapping
and
every 2 minutes. Like, what
right.
the fuck?
Right. And you know what? And honestly, he was talking about good stuff, like, you know,
Yeah.
the price of insulin and all these
Yeah.
things. And it's like, but it's like, I got insulin down to $35
Yeah.
a month. And then it's like, rah. And my predecessor said this, boo. Like, it was a joke, honestly. Honestly,
Yeah.
it
What
was
the fuck?
informative,
Yeah.
but I can't help but when I see what's going on in politics, I'm like, yo, this will be a dope SNL skit. This will be a dope Simpsons episode. Like, somebody call the writers of South Park right
Yeah.
now. Because, like, all of this is like, you can't write this
Yeah.
stuff. It's pure comedy. But he
Yeah.
was talking about he did bring up the housing
Yeah.
crisis. Yep.
He brought that up. He spoke about, this is why I don't understand. He talked about creating an annual tax credit that will give Americans an extra $400
A month.
to put towards their first home or use it to trade up to buy more space.
Yep.
And that only for the first 2 years.
2 years. Yep.
Let's do the math on that. To use it towards to increase your home space. I don't know if that's enough. Maybe be able to use some of it. Me personally, I'll probably use it towards my mortgage if I was to get that, right? Because paying, let's say if your mortgage $2,000 and you can save yourself the extra 400 at least for the next 2 years, I think personally is more beneficial that way.
Like, to go towards the principal?
To go towards...
So, like, to change your amortization schedule so that, like, on your 30-year, you're shaving off and making it more like a 23-year? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Because obviously, well, if it does come down with that,
you would be making like 1 to 2 extra mortgage payments for the year. Yeah.
So I think that will make sense in that regards versus if you're looking to buy up, right?
It's not gonna do much.
It's not gonna do much
because, like, what would the amount be? I don't know. Like, for every $5,000, it really only translates probably into like $20 on your mortgage payment.
Yeah. See.
So if you're like debating on whether or not you should offer 400 versus 405 on a house, like,
does that make
sense?
You
might as well do the 405. It's only going to change your mortgage payment by no more than $30.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I this is what I mean. It just sounds like free candy for everybody. Like, I just don't know. I don't feel like that $400 is significant enough.
I don't either. Even him talking. Even he was saying that he wants to eliminate title insurance on federal backed mortgages, right?
Yeah.
So, do they save $1,000?
Right.
From it?
Right. Honestly,
how's that beneficial?
That is a dollar amount that when you look at your CD really
It
doesn't
really
even
doesn't mean
it doesn't mean much. No.
Like, there has to. I just feel like there needs to be something that could benefit the people.
You know what I
want?
More.
Talk to me. Talk to the people. Actually, not me.
Don't like these utility prices. How about that?
Don't what?
The utility prices. How about that? How about I want those lower?
Especially if everything's going to be converted to electric.
It's not. They're trying, but
we'll see.
Whatever. But no, back to the housing crisis though. Mm-hmm. This is something that has been going on since even like before the crash.
Yeah.
There's not been, as a country, we have not built enough houses. We just haven't.
Yeah.
And land is scarce.
Yeah.
I was reading and watching a couple videos. WPRI did a video on the housing crisis, and first of all, I had problems. It was problematic because it always is. But what they were talking about building, and it's that quarter rule for when you buy land versus like what the value of it's going to be once it's built up. So right now, land in Rhode Island is running 110 to 200,000. So that would mean that if you're like a house is that you're building is anywhere from 600 to 800,000.
And that's so not even a price point for a middle class family.
But that's the point. We just said the median house price is $430. But if you're buying land and you're using that quarter quarter I don't even know how to say it, but it's basically like
they use a historical 25% cost of the housing land. I think Bob Baldwin, he's the president of RB Homes. He was the one who because I did watch that too. He was the one who was actually breaking that whole fundamental down, right? And what he said really made sense, because if all these homes, between buying the land and then the cost of building it, and if you put that price out there between 600 to 800,000, like you said,
who's affording that? It's not first time home buyers.
Who is definitely going to afford that?
That's not first time home buyers. So yes, but they were talking about like affordable housing. And I don't remember. He was the third one sitting. I'll have to remember his name, whatever. But they use this term, the not in my backyard NIMBYs. Like people that say that, right? Like, oh, we want to put a solar farm in wherever, and they're like, not in my backyard, or we want to build affordable houses, not in my backyard. There's always those like naysayers. So they were talking about how Massachusetts, there was a lot of pushback from residents when they were going, and they're still going through their housing crisis too, but they created a fund for, if there should be any issues with taxes going up, right? You have new construction going up, it's going to drive up home values and taxes in that area. And that's what a lot of like people that have been living in neighborhoods for long periods of time, that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid that their taxes are going to go up because you're building more houses. That's one of their issues, right? They're afraid it's going to affect their dollar. So what they were saying that Massachusetts created this fund and has never touched it. Because it never had a significant increase. Like it didn't affect them the way that they thought it was.
Gotcha.
So it doesn't have that scary monetary, like negative monetary effect, like by building affordable houses. But this is where it became problematic. Because Homeboy says, people think that affordable houses mean, I can't even say this with a straight face, means that like it's going to be ghetto. He said ghetto. Like the whistle blowing in that interview it angered me. Like I watched it because hello, we gotta talk about this stuff. But like I don't think that was a good choice of words, sir. Like you should have never said that. And then they went on to compare like, these are gonna be your kids' teachers and the CNAs and the
I really wonder what affordable housing looks like for them. How they define affordable housing. Right, because there's a building.
They're gonna meet the median. It's still gonna price a bunch of people out. Because even if you're building houses, it doesn't make sense. Even if you're building houses that are valued at $430, right, and that to hit that median mark. I've seen people's pre-approvals that they can't even meet that because you have to, for a single person household right now in Rhode Island. What is it like? You got to make like 80 to 90,000
combined.
That's a combined.
Okay. Singles 41,000. Like who the
41,000? You can't afford a $430,000 house.
That's wild.
You can't afford a $430,000 house. I don't even think somebody on a combined income of 90,000 could afford a $40,000 house right now at this point. You definitely got to be, in the six figures.
No, I definitely agree with you with that, man. Housing is just a major issue right now in the market, and people are being affected all the way across. Yo, what's the number one city right now that has the most, I don't want to say that has the most, but it's probably the most affordable housing right now. Do you know what city that is in Rhode Island? Central Falls.
It's like 2 blocks.
Central Falls.
It's like 2
and
blocks.
even at that, I find it kind of hard because Central Fall prices, which is majority multifamilies,
Yeah,
right?
it's still high.
It's getting up there in price point.
Those multis are still, they're still competing
They
with the
still
Pawtucket prices, the
yeah.
Providence prices.
I would figure like Woonsocket out of all places. They say Central Falls.
Yeah, but Woonsocket is like, you know, it borders like Mass, and you get a lot of those like cool historic homes.
Yeah.
Like I feel like people like they really shit on Woonsocket, and I get it, it's like
Yeah,
out of the way.
let's be honest. Why though?
I know, but it beat out of the way
Yeah.
a little bit, and it's not convenient to get to.
Yeah.
But depending on where you're at,
Yeah.
but honestly, like some of the houses that I see like go up, I just wish I don't have Woonsocket buyers.
Yeah.
And
No, I
they're
don't
good
need to,
houses.
yeah.
They're good
Yeah.
houses.
People don't want to move to Woonsocket for some reason. I don't get it. And Woonsocket do have especially their multifamily homes are big.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a Woonsocket? Big spaces,
high ceilings. You're
high
gonna get
ceilings,
character.
double parlor.
Like you're
like,
getting crown molding in
yeah,
some of these houses.
Woonsocket multifamily homes are definitely big. There definitely is a lot of character with their homes. So
Yeah.
if you guys ever looking to buy Woonsocket, listen. One of the things I would like to do, I think it was a Woman International Day.
Yeah.
The other day,
Hey.
I want shout out to a lot of the women out there, you know, that's doing big things. Definitely want to
little things.
All little things, facts. You know, one of the things I want shout out to my mom, my sister, you know, all y'all ladies that's doing a big thing. Definitely a lot of respect to you guys, especially my lady cousins too. But one of the things I want to shout out to is pretty much one of my homegirls, man. I gotta give her a lot of love, a lot of respect. She's a great woman, great wife, great mother, you know, and she's doing a lot of major powerful plays in the real estate game. So with that being said, my homegirl Angela,
Shut
know what
up.
I mean?
You're stupid. I'm like, ooh, who we gonna talk about? You're dumb.
Nah, a lot of love and a lot of respect to you, Angela, for the moves that you're making. You know, I see how you are with your family.
Thank you.
And I really respect that and admire that a lot in you. You know, you show your husband a lot of love, you show your son a lot of love, and then not only that, you know, one of the dopest things that you do, you bring that energy to the office.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? And that energy is dope, you know. So shout out to you.
Thanks.
And shout out to all the ladies in our office as well, because you guys know who you are, from Danielle, Jocelyn,
Claudia, Midianji, Maddie, they're buying up flips.
Yeah, like all these girls that's in our office.
Mm-hmm.
If I miss some of y'all name, apologize, but you guys are making some major moves, and respect to you guys, and happy Woman International Day.
Yeah.
Catch you guys actually, before we even catch you guys on the flip side, if you guys don't know where to find us on our platform, definitely check us out on Instagram at the Netwrk podcast, network.co, THENETWRK.co, and also on YouTube, which is the Netwrk Podcast. It's your boy Sadiq.
And Ange.
I have anything to say?
No, peace out. I'll see you in the next episode.
Peace. Let's get it.